Se Anthony Siaguru Walk Against Corruption is an annual event hosted by Transparency International PNG to raise the alarm on corruption and also to support the work of TIPNG in the country. This year is the 11th Se Anthony Siaguru Walk Against Corruption 2017. The walk started from the Sejong Gai Stadium. Since its inception, the walk also commemorates the good work of Se Anthony Siaguru in addressing corruption in PNG. Those that participated in the morning's walk included school students and representatives from various corporate organizations, about 58 corporate teams, 13 civil society organizations, 56 schools, 11 family teams, and 1 SME team have registered. Approximately 1,620 people participated.
One of the reactions that happens to me when I see the crowds gathered, one of the reactions is almost sort of a bit tearful. You look out across the stadium and you see what looks to be well over 1,000 people, possibly up to 2,000 people gathered right across that magnificent stadium, all getting ready to walk. And then as you proceed with the walk and look back at the crowd, one position that I was in was I was looking right back down Sir John Guy's Drive, and far in the distance people were still coming around the corner, and we had this huge crowd of people. So how was it? It was fantastic. It's always fantastic to see these people come out in their colours, with their slogans, making a stand, making comments, or even walking silently as a comment about how good the country can be if we can only restrict, limit, control the degree of corruption that we're seeing.
Mr. Stevens was part of the team that led the walk from the stadium. They walked along the main roads towards John Guy's Drive and back to the stadium. The teams walked with placards reading anti-corruption slogans and messages. Walk for clean business, make it your business was the theme for this year's walk.
Corruption in Papua New Guinea means dead people. Corruption in Papua New Guinea means teachers unhoused in rural areas. Corruption in Papua New Guinea means rural airstrips not maintained. It means people being unable to reasonably access services. And why? Because when there's corruption, official bribery takes place. When there's corruption, inappropriate people are selected for jobs. When there's corruption, money that should be devoted to education, health, is siphoned off and paid to individuals who don't deserve it and shouldn't receive it. So that's what corruption means to us. That's how it affects us, and that's why we need to keep taking a stand against it.
The Se Anthony Siaguru Walk is one of an effort to raise the alarm on corruption. But every effort from all levels of government and sectors is needed to address corruption in Papua New Guinea.
We're definitely not doing enough. And if I can give an example, we have a parliament of 111 members. The parliament has gone through a term and it's now at the end of that 5-year cycle. During that period, we were informed by the Prime Minister, himself an accountant, that 8 billion kina in public trust funds had disappeared. Now, 8 billion kina, That's a huge amount of money and a hugely important amount of money for the people it was held in trust for. And to simply be told it's disappeared with no sign of anybody doing anything about tracking it down. It's money, it's not gas. It's not something you turn on the tap and the gas disappears. Money is something that you can actually track. And to be told it hasn't been tracked, to be told it's disappeared, and to be told, or to be given the impression nobody is doing anything to get it back, that's a sign to us that 111 members have failed just in that one area to be involved with us in fighting back against corruption. Now, having said that, we also have the media, we also have academics at universities, we have people all over the country who are aware of this, including ourselves, and have we all taken enough action on this? And I fear not. We should constantly remind everybody that we're told 8 billion kina went missing from public trust funds. Now, and then you add to that the stories that come back to us. One, for example, the story of an inflated medical supplies contract, hugely inflated. Competitors were talking 50 million a year. The contract was awarded to a company initially not qualified, a company that quoted 70 million a year. 3 years, 60 million kina thrown away. And then the Australian government protested because there were agreed procedures that should have been followed. They weren't listened to, so the Australians withdrew another 37 million in support. We lost 100 million because we as a nation decided to pay one contractor 20 million kina a year more than we needed to. We've asked questions, we've never had appropriate answers, and that problem continues. And that, Gabriel, is just one of them. We need to keep asking, to keep talking, and keep encouraging our members of parliament, our public servants, our police, our ombudsman, to focus on these things and stop it.
Papua New Guinea ranks low in the world's corruption rankings, and despite efforts made by successive governments in terms of legislation and strengthening anti-corruption institutions, there is more to be done.
I admit that corruption is a worldwide problem, and we're grateful that we're not seen as the absolute worst country as far as corruption goes. But we are included in amongst a group down around 30 positions from the bottom of the list who are seen as among the world's most corrupt countries. And that's a challenge, and it has been a challenge now for a good number of years. We need to get past that. If we're going to develop as a nation adequately, we need to be able to ensure that we're not seen, and in fact are not, among the bad countries, and that we're doing really good work to bring about change and to control corruption.
The country is now into the year of election to vote for leaders and the formation of a new government. The challenge of addressing corruption still remains.
I'm hoping that when the candidates are elected and when we have a new group, 111 members of parliament, we'll see them pay attention to the issues of corruption. We'll see them start off by thinking through things like the need for an ICAC, an Independent Anti-Corruption Commission, to see through things like the need for better support for police, better support for the Ombudsman Commission, better support for the courts, so that our legal system is able to respond when there is sign of corruption. And it'd be wonderful to hear that the members themselves are talking that way, the candidates are talking that way, before they step into the parliament. And we're looking forward to seeing how that goes.
With these challenges, the work of the anti-corruption organizations remains as important and needs support from the general public. TIPNG as a toll-free hotlines 1806000 or 7601436 for members of the public to report any suspected corrupt activities. The walk yesterday has raised at least 134,000 kina for TIPNG.